Early one winter morning, the air was sharp with cold, and the sidewalks were blanketed in snow. I was out clearing the paths, tossing salt to make the walkway safer for everyone. The sky hung low and gray, and the streets were eerily quiet, with only the occasional car breaking the stillness. I decided to stop by the gas station to fill up my tank before continuing my morning tasks. That's when everything changed. As I stood at the pump, watching the numbers tick higher on the display, an elderly man caught my eye. He was across the street, walking slowly, bundled in a thick coat and scarf. His steps were cautious, as if the icy patches on the ground were making him nervous. But despite the bitter cold, the moment seemed ordinary, just another person braving the winter morning. Suddenly, everything turned chaotic. A bright orange Jeep barreled down the street, the sound of its tires crunching the snow amplified in the quiet. The man stepped off the curb, almost as if he didn't see the vehicle. It all happened so fast that my brain could barely process the scene. The Jeep struck him with such force that his body was propelled into the air, his limbs flailing like a rag doll. He landed with a sickening thud, more than 30 feet away, motionless. I froze, the pump still in my hand, the gas forgotten. The surreal nature of what I just witnessed left me rooted to the spot. I stared at the lifeless figure in the road, the snow around him untouched except for the jagged marks left by his fall. People began to gather, some screaming, others rushing to their cars to call for help. But there was no helping him. He was gone. Later that day, as I went about my tasks, the image of the man's flight and fall replayed over and over in my head. I couldn't shake the feeling of responsibility, the urge to make sure what I'd seen was understood by those handling the investigation. At the daycare center, I spotted one of the dads who I knew worked as a patrolman for the city. I asked him how to contact the detectives, explaining that I had been a witness to the accident. He provided me with their number, and without hesitation, I called. When I gave my statement, the gravity of what I'd witnessed became even clearer. The detectives had initially planned to charge the driver with vehicular homicide, but my account changed the direction of their investigation. I explained how quickly it had all happened, how the elderly man had stepped into the Jeep's path mere moments before impact. There was simply no way the driver could have stopped in time. The man's death was ruled an accident, but the memory of that morning stayed with me. The cold air, the vivid orange of the Jeep, the sickening sound of his body hitting the ground. It was like a snapshot burned into my mind. Even now, when I see someone crossing the street on a snowy day, I'm reminded of the fragility of life and the terrible swiftness with which it can be taken away.